allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Nebraska Open Meetings Act is on the wall, behind the building on the left wall there. Roll call. Frank. Tim. Present. Steve.
Present.
Present. Rex.
Here. Present.
There's 3 positions in the poll. Frank, you'll start.
Vision. Envision Stapleton Public Schools as a leader in the state and in the country in student achievement. The strive to create an environment where parents, teachers, staff, administration, and the school board community effective responsibility for planning and action. Stapleton Public School will be a place where students, parents, and employees want to work and learn. We believe that by valuing staff, administration, providing safe, positive, and collaborative environment, and continuing education and professional development, we will be able to ensure that every child learns at high levels and becomes an asset by showing pride in themselves, their families, communities, and beyond.
Goal 1. Stapleton Public School will ensure academic success for all students.
Goal 2, Stapleton Public Schools will develop strong school community partnerships, maintain traditional values, and promote school activities.
Goal 3, Stapleton Public Schools will improve or build new facilities.
Number 4, Stapleton Public Schools will value and treat all staff members as professionals by allocating resources and providing meaningful professional development.
Goal 5, improve the communications among board members and the superintendent.
Board development.
Oh, we've had some committee meetings. And I'm going to have to address that now in May, but someone was putting a lot of time into the last month or so. I appreciate that, and hopefully the district will.
Do I have an approval of the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Rick?
Yes.
Rex?
Yes.
Yes. Steve?
Yes.
Tim? Yes. Frank?
Yes.
Public notification.
Working with Al on a timely basis. Normal for the budget.
Do we have any people that you need? Old business, approval of prior minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the February 18th and February 22nd.
Okay. Frank?
Yes.
Tim? Yes. Steve?
Yes.
Yes. Rex?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Approval of the claims.
I went through the claims
Second.
Discussion. Tim? Yes. Rex?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Yes. Treasurer's report.
So you have an updated form on the table that has a correction on it. General questions on it? Receipts. Expenses. It's a tad under what we had a year ago. Cash. That's your building. Appreciation. Qualified cap. Maintaining a small amount. Employee benefit, assume disappear. Hot lunch. Up from a year ago. Activity. Will increase. Interest-bearing accounts are on the back. Remember, the interest is paid quarterly. We haven't had the different depreciation of that. Any questions about it? The activity. Think. Session stand fund, still just a little short, but not what it has been in the past. This point in the year, we could probably look at what we have for the carryover. Got a couple of small little functions coming up yet, but we could hope to get that completed. Probably back to week 0. Any questions on any of this class? Just let me know. And maintain themselves. Thanks, all, and that's your question.
Community liaison.
On March 1st, Stapleton Public Schools Foundation hosted our second Game Fund. It was a fun and amusing event in our community. The vehicle brought in over $15,000 that evening. The members on the foundation board worked super hard and worked many volunteer hours. The event wouldn't have been successful, however, without our so between those who donated, who stepped in to volunteer, or even just put in everybody who tomorrow, May 19th, there's a public forum about economic development at the Community Center at 6 p.m. They want all community stakeholders to attend, including the youth. So I put out an invite to all the junior high as well, and everybody in here. I think the gentleman former star wants to hear from every week one. May 6th is our social studies and science fair, and that's being done in conjunction with Fine Arts Night. It will be, start about 5 o'clock that evening for some kids, and then there's going to be a concert at the end of 7, which will go to about 8:30. So it'll be a long night. However, families don't have to come multiple times in one week. So we're going to try it out this year.
because it seems like when it comes to May, people are up here. A lot of meetings. So May 7th will be our community cleanup day, so please send any projects you know of my way. And we talked at the chamber meeting how we want to keep making this event even bigger and bigger. So if somebody has different projects throughout the county, if you're tearing down the building and you help them with magnets or with nails or whatever, then our group can kind of be a supplemental group to those great projects that are happening. So we would really like to see our community continue to clean up everywhere. If there's any things on the maybe we'll figure something out. Well, yeah.
Cindy's director report.
Well, this last week's speech, they took second at conference, so they were runners up, which is awesome. We had 6 state qualifiers that we only talked on Thursday night, this is Friday, which is awesome. And we're really trying to celebrate all the little and big things we want to see in the future, so in a month. Golf and track are supposed to have their first meet this week, but it's kind of wet out there. We'll see what happens with that. It sounds like they're gonna run the track meet and just be fun. Co-op committee met, I forgot the date, a few weeks ago. They decided on a name for us, with the Sanders Valley Maverick. The colors will stay the same, but there is a competition out there for the new mascot / logo. So I'll take those back April 2nd, I believe, is the next meeting. And other than that, they're just finishing up confirming coaching positions. And we still have to finalize boys basketball and junior high sports. And then for academic all-state, you have to carry a 3.7 GPA, cumulative over your time in high school. For boys basketball, Maxim Fry and Aiden Trillenwald got that. And for girls basketball, Megan Amos and Trisha Burnt got academic all-state. And then for speech, Trinity Newton and Hannah Burnside.
14 report.
Mr. Burnside.
Well, sure.
Point out how those that you maybe include your ability to do the board meeting.
Just getting more wise all the time. I went to the budget workshop with Howard here, probably 3-4 weeks ago, but in North Platte, and that was, I guess, interesting for me. It was nice to see how all this kind of works together. The one that I really enjoyed, though, is golly, what day was it, Howard, that we went to Lincoln? March 5th. We got to go there with the Nebraska Rural Schools Association meeting and got to hear from around 10 different state senators, and they talked to a whole group of things. Sounds like that probably, as you guys all know, we may get some tax relief. Everyone that spoke, I don't know what form it's going to come in as far as property taxes. They all wanted to address that. There's going to be no new money coming into education, so whatever they take from taxes of property are going to have to be brought in from somewhere else. There's all sorts of things I guess I could share later, but anyways, they're also they hit all sorts of subjects all the way from our prisons. We have to have, I thought it was interesting, to take out 12% within the next year and a half by order. And so, as far as educationally wise, one thing I thought was interesting. Right now, this legislature is funding 36% of our education in the state, and they'd like to go up to 50%, but that will take up to $1 billion to do. So right now, they're for about 600,000 rand or something right hard. So when they're good people, they encourage. The one thing that I took away is the 2 guys I talked to is they wanted us to call them or to stop in and see them. So that they take what we say over what the lobbyist says by 150%. And Mr.
Now, what we heard that day may change 3 times across of this last weekend. The weather conditions in our great state of Nebraska. I personally can't even fathom what it's going to take to repair all the damage. Where that money is going to be taken. And so everybody that was probably getting excited about what may happen to property tax may go back. Because those of us out here that have to keep the doors open. I think that's pretty much the way I look at it at this point. Magically appears, but that's many disasters here in the last month, let alone the last year within this country. FEMA, who tries to help out problems like we've got presently right now with the roads in this county, and be a laundry list a zillion miles long. And so, like Mr. Burnside just pointed out, visiting with state senators, let alone the people we have in Washington, let them know who we are here in Logan County. Not only is the school board, but the property tax paying citizens. And what you do for others, we can try to do for us as well, in whatever proportion you can try that. Any of you, if you feel that there's something that you need to see addressed with one of our legislators, especially, or one of the people in Washington, don't be afraid to get a hold of me and say, hey, I'm pretty busy right now, but I think I want this point brought out or that point brought out. That's part of probably what you've got me sitting in here. So don't be afraid to visit with anybody.
I did send a letter, an email to Senator Brewer about the one we got about the building. And he got back to me and asked for a copy of it, so I told her to copy of it.
I've addressed the issue too. Yeah, he was a little bit surprised. I don't think a lot of our senators realize the money that's taken from this part of the state is keeping the doors open in that part. And we wouldn't need much property tax relief if we just got a lion's share of what this county produces. Our school. If you go back and read your history, that's what the blanket was set aside to do to begin with. Somewhere along the line, that has been. I get off my soapbox. I want to thank Mr. Burnside for going along with me to Lincoln. Help keep me awake when you're up here at 4 o'clock in the morning. Sit down there for got back around. So, as far as board development, we need to take a little time to get himself lined up and both out. Thank you.
We'll move on to new business discussion items. Alley Cap Safety Summary Report.
You have that in front of you. Mr. Dietz spent approximately an hour and 45 minutes in the building. We had quite a little bit of snow on the ground, so we didn't necessarily get to walk through the playgrounds. Took a distant look and said, well, make sure that it gets checked out, make sure the bolts are tight and there's no caps left off that kids can catch your hand on and this and that, so on. So, the rest of it's kind of self-explanatory. I will admit I kicked the can down the road with the door appliances. that we need to update on, mainly because of the cost factor. I'm looking at another little avenue. I think probably over a period of time, Louis could put those on himself without having to hire that done. The biggest part of those two proposals we have put before us was labor. And so uh, we look at maybe just purchasing the appliances and maintenance. And any questions about what we've read through there?
We checked the fire extinguishers each time.
That is Louis' job in the back. He did admit to me when we visited about that he does check them, he just doesn't initial them. But he's gonna start that. That, he told the fire extinguishers, when you check them, you're gonna initial them like he wants it done on a month-to-month basis.
I've been doing except for the last probably 4 months before he showed up, it was because half of them weren't even working. They were needed to be recharged. The people that we had do the recharging and checking. I don't know why they didn't show up, but they didn't show up. And so the new fella came in and we've got it back going the way it ought, these buses and all. Yeah, when I got hold of Protex, all of that young man, he quit. And they didn't send anybody up here to do our fire extinguishers. That's the reason.
The new man's out of Scottsbluff, and he said his territory's expanded, and he just. That's satisfactory for him.
What about the other two things that we fixed, the GFIs and the drain, what are we doing?
Pardon?
Well, it says in the home ec room that we need GFI outlets and the drain, shop drain needs work on, what do we do about those?
The shop drain, you will make that a shop project before the year is over. If you've been out in the shop, it's a metal grate, but it's not made out of very strong material. It has a bit of a depression. It feels that's a safety hazard if somebody should happen to walk across it. He said that would be correct. When your building was wired years ago, especially in the home ec room, those outlets are too close to sinks, and so you need to have proper outlet installed. No big deal.
We'll get that taken care of.
Other questions? You've got. Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself.
All the questions on that. Okay, next, flooring for hallway of 1991 edition.
Okay, we've had some tile show deterioration. The maintenance person has made some corrections where needed to be corrected. But of course, we don't have any of those tiles of that same color. It can be fine tile of that color, as Louis pointed out to me. So we've done what we had and could do. Just happened to be shortly after he made some corrections. I had a gentleman that represents Mohawk Carpeting out of Omaha. He's also the sales rep that takes care of many of the stores in this part of Nebraska. But when visiting with me, if a school wants to do some carpeting and They will sell it to us at a 40% discount. We have to come up with a person to play it. And I said, well, what could your product do for this hallway? And I will forward you the email he sent. We took pictures of our hallways going both directions. And then with the ability to lay things over on picture nowadays, he showed us what it would look like if we carpeted, recarpeted, carpet squares. I think what a change. Now, we're kind of visiting with our maintenance man. We didn't know whether carpet was what we want in those hallways. Even though but the salesman went on to say that I have numerous schools in this state. They're stain resistant, long wearing. Excellent. Then I'll give you the laundry list of school districts you contact. And probably have much more traffic that went over in the day's time than you might have in the night.
Kind of the dry and wet, or little people bring it as well.
This is the.
It doesn't penetrate, it just sits there and you can't vacuum it up.
He said it'll vacuum with the right material, right equipment, maybe not that any different than what we already have in place. I said, well, we can dream. But if you walk up and down this hallway, we have some of it breaking up pretty good. And what he suggested, and what most schools do that have tile about this age, they don't take it up. They slay right over the top of it. Showed me the easy to use. That's my report on that.
Radon testing.
Radon testing.
Let's get fire extinguisher inspection. Sorry.
Well, fire extinguisher inspection, you have that in front of you as well. Yes, there were a couple of them that were not up to the specs. We were given loaners and then it came back, I think, a few days later and switched those out. So right now we're in compliance. Any questions on that?
Now the radon testing.
Okay. I received a letter here, several months ago, dealing with the subject of radon. I allowed this state employee to come in and put some test packages around. It would be at no cost to the district. I saw no reason why not to take advantage of that. So it came up one day and it's like a little package, not half the size of this, in various places throughout the building. The maintenance man took him around and put him here, there, and everywhere. And, the results came back. I believe you have a copy of that. Maybe not, but anyway, we checked out that. He said for this older building, he said, okay.
Any other questions on the radon testing? Move on to the sports co-op.
We had a couple really productive meetings with Thurston County. We talked to discuss coaches and Kara should contact with them. We still have a boys wrestling, high school wrestling coach, and we don't have a high school boys basketball coach. We discussed amendments to each school's policies to make it so that the board is, or the committee would be in charge of making the decision about the coaches. Other minor things that go on in the committee. Everything co-op related. We feel that having the committee meetings open to the public is a good thing. Later will be, we get that this becomes an executive committee like we would like it to be. We also feel it is more productive and the chances of making it more long lasting for the community with the board members making decisions rather than just the superintendent, because superintendents come and go, but the school board members are in the community full time. And we feel like that way the community members are more vested in from each side and are more committed to making really good decisions for that co-op. Yeah, but they're elected and they are still members of the community.
Rotate.
They can, but that's true. But they still are more vested in, we feel like that they're still more vested in the community. They just kind of want to be here a couple of years and then move. And sometimes if you get two type A personality conflict, 6 other people suffering.
And so, with some of that being said, I had Howard send Tryon's paper that was on the back of their cooperative agreement. I'm going to read to you what the attorney said on this part of it. For our conversation, I reviewed the proposed activity cooperative operations policy. The policy is drafted broadly, which allows flexibility for the cooperative committee to operate without needing each board's approval on every action item. This can be a good thing if the cooperative works, but also could be a problem if the cooperative committee does not always see eye to eye. So I would caution your board and district to be very cautious about entering into this agreement if you have any reservations that the districts involved would not agree on issues in the future. In my experience, cooperative agreements work very well when all parties involved can agree on and are on the same page. However, cooperative agreements will not work if the districts involved do not agree. There can be more problems once one district disagrees with the other district than are worthwhile. I contacted him after Howard sent me that to kind of go through some other questions that I had. Just kind of to feel out stuff. I went ahead and we looked at that. I went over some of the stuff that we had that you guys had done through this proposal. He highly recommends that board members do not select coaches. He said that runs into a lot of problems legally. He said that he said after I talked to him about this, he said, I would not enter into that agreement. He said it's too broad. There's too much that can happen later on. It's legal, but it's not always smart to set up this type of agreement, he said. He would prefer not doing that. He says, I see a lot of problems maybe the way this is coming down. He was very adamant that he highly would suggest that we do not have board members selecting coaches. He said that's And then I asked him about the proposed policy changes, and he said, that's not something you want to do right now. And so that was what he said. If you want me to have him type up or send us exactly what he said, or what he suggests. And then he said, if you in some of like our co-op agreement stuff down below, he said, I would suggest that you would put that we would only like contribute a certain amount of money that will allow 3 board members to not find an entire board. So we have to have a cutoff on what you can spend. So there were some other things, I didn't get it all written down, but he said it is his guess and that we do not follow some of these guidelines.
I feel it's kind of an example. Everything is the way.
Right.
100% what we're doing about. Number 2, I've talked to every one of you multiple times. I believe the 5 years is some of the policy. You all think that Howard's got to bring. I believe it. But when you bring it back to listen to it, you they voted on the one thing. All we were trying to do was figure out what would work best. Their expertise, giving opinion to, but right now trying is different than ours. That was part of it. I requested something. So that.
Well, I mean, I'm just telling you that you asked me, you gave this to us, and so we asked our attorney how he felt about it. I mean, we should ask our attorney how legal questions.
The day of the meeting.
I personally feel like if we were in the lawyer, we should have done that long time ago. Because now we have all this time, got everything in place in McPherson County. Everybody thinks it's co-op is go, and now we're going to jerk the rug out from under it and
We're
back
not.
to zero.
This right here doesn't jerk the rug out from under a co-op.
The agreement we have with McPherson now is that.
I asked him that, and he said no.
I think that the board members that we have visited with will think we have jerked.
The agreement was voted on it. That's what it said.
I think, because I asked him, I said, does this, and he said no. I mean, if you want to talk, I talked to the attorney. I'm not comfortable with us selecting coaches.
When I asked you to talk to the attorney a week ago, how come you told me then you were uncomfortable about the fact that you were going to call the attorney and what you felt up to speed on what you were going to do for him? You told me when I talked to you that you wouldn't talk to the attorney without one of us with specific questions to ask him.
Then Howard sent him the information. I asked Howard to send it. He tried to get a hold of the attorney, and the attorney just got back to him today.
I was saying the document, that the attorney, the draft is.
Because you've asked us to look at those. That's what you asked us to look at.
I didn't say that I wanted the board to do that. It was an example of what the other people.
I understand that, but I'm telling you what the attorney said. And I'm not saying, we want the co-op. That is not it.
So how do you, without involving the committee from both schools in running the co-op, how do you prevent what happens between Mr. Wall and Mr. Sherwood from happening again?
Well, you've got to get the public more back in it, and the public was not backing the co-op at that time. There was a lot of things that happened prior to that didn't include either one of those two. That had soured our community only those two. And as a committee, the committee did not step up, nor was they, well, the our superintendent didn't even include it. I think the committee ought to be included in
Because he didn't have to.
that.
That's what we're trying to avoid.
But part of this policy that we have in place, he changed, and we did not catch it. The part where we didn't vote on it and that,
Yeah, we used to have to always vote on it.
we always voted on it. But there's lots of things happened, guys, that was not good, and if you had the person I'd be a lawyer sitting here going over the documents to make sure that nothing slid by.
And you're gonna tell me that having two superintendents is part of
I'm saying that the 8 people, the 6 people should work with the superintendent and regularly, but just as a tool of the board, they should work with the superintendent. If they believe things is going out of line, then they need to come to the board and the superintendent, and we need to talk about it.
From what I'm seeing, it wasn't he was saying that what he said was the superintendent and the ADs usually, with advice from the committee, the advisory type things. They come back, they pick them, they come back to the board, and the board can, the committee can say yay or nay. But the committee basically wasn't selecting the coaches, because basically you are hiring coaches when you do that. And that is not a school board job. That's the words right from him. And I wasn't trying to undermine it. This is how it happened. So and he just said, we shouldn't be going through and changing their job description right now. I just asked him with the information, the tools, the information that I had from the packets. And Howard sent that. He tried to get a hold of them Thursday and Friday, and nobody called him back. And we finally got him today.
I know, but my point was, when people were phone.
And I understand that, and I took all of that in, and I listened to it. But
No,
when
you don't understand the fact that we requested, is, after the first cooperative meeting, I texted Sunday, told you we had time to call me. I personally requested that somebody before the next co-op meeting, us 3, wanted to get face to face with you 3, and get on the same page.
And I talked to Howard, and Howard was comfortable with what was going on, and so I said, okay, and Howard and I guess, decided that we didn't need to have one at that time. This has just come to light today. I'm sorry that happened. I didn't intentionally not have a meeting.
90% of the problem in the co-op going back and forth is why I told you on the subject. That's why I requested it. It's a good follow policy, and I made a phone call and requested me.
I guess I'm sorry about that. I didn't intentionally do that. I found this out today. I'm telling you, I guess if you feel like that's the way you're gonna go, I will just have to vote on things.
And then we asked, a couple of weeks ago, that the water special meeting, so it wasn't time, not any more time in the regular board meeting. If we need to have the lawyers so that everybody can ask, I'm fine with that. You get one piece of information, twist it around, and then it all depends on how it gets asked on what the next is.
Also, when part of the 6-man committee feels comfortable having a sidebar committee meeting, that you you said you had, without the other two there,
Go ahead.
that's already starting
Go ahead.
what happened before.
Well, here you go. If I'm not on an official committee, it don't mean anything. All I had was a conversation.
I'm just, what I gave him today was what we were given in our packet. I don't feel like that was going anywhere. I asked you had said that I should get a hold of the attorney.
What did you tell me?
I didn't have the questions I needed to get a hold of him with. You guys said you had those other things, and I never got these. I got these in my board packet. I don't, it's not pulling a,
Okay, I want, what do you see as our positions as members of this committee then? What do you think that our jobs are?
If you're a tool,
No, I want specifics. Your job is to do this. I want to know specifically what you think we should do.
fact finder. Period.
no, I mean, I can see a committee. The committee itself is a way to get together with that other board. I understand that. What I'm saying is the one thing that he advised against was having that committee, if they're board members, select coaches. Because basically you're hiring. The rest of the stuff he only said in the policies, he said you should not, you've paid these people, you should not be changing their job descriptions. And that's what he said. And I called several committees, different co-op committees, and they do not select the coaches. They have these people, they come back, they put them in place, basically, who they want to, like this school gets this coach and back and forth. And then they do make the decisions for the committee, but they still bring a lot of it back to the board as a whole.
So do we need to change our board policy so that the superintendent has to bring coaches to our full board to vote on?
Well, if you had it
Because that's how McPherson's reads. They have to bring all their coach recommendations to the full board.
but if they did it and you set the AD and the superintendent up to do the selections or whatever, and they brought it to the committee, I've seen it, and then they do that. That's what some of those committees told me they did.
How is it any different?
You, advisory, yes, but you guys are saying you're selecting the coaches. You're choosing them. So basically, you're hiring them. If they're choosing them and bringing them to you, then you're just approving them. But if you advise them on some of them, then that's, but that's what their jobs are. That's what he told me.
I'm kind of. So if Mr. Gaffney came to us with a coach and we said, no, we don't like that idea, then he has the right to go ahead and hire them, even though we said as a committee that we did not like that person?
But he's expendable at any time.
But that's not really the point. I want to know what's the difference between us making the recommendation to start with, or him bringing the recommendation to us, and then we said no. Then does he have still the right to go ahead and hire them, even though we said no?
Basically, yes.
Then what is the point of him bringing them to us, I guess?
Well, I would hope that we would have enough confidence in him that if we told him we did not want that person, or, because we've got 2 superintendents and 2 ADs that would be working on it.
That worked last time. Actually, one AD.
The way you got it.
One AD.
So, I mean, I'm telling you, I'm telling you what the attorney told me. I didn't throw that out there. I just asked him. No, he said it's not illegal. Oh, well, he said that school board members should, and then one other thing is you should probably have 2 board members on there instead of 3. You know, so we keep the form back there in case something.
I don't know, I think it's safe to say that maybe dig into the co-op agreement. Um, from a long time. All we were after was helping the problem. And this proposed rules and policies.
And I'm not saying that. You guys did an awesome job on that part. It's, when he said that, he looked at it and said that they shouldn't be selecting, choosing the coaches. You can advise, and then it goes to somebody else, but it's just, there's a issue there. And that came from an attorney, not from, somebody else. And I just don't feel like we should cost an attorney. I mean, he's not gonna give us bad advice, he's our attorney. I thought that's what you'd asked me to send that, or to talk to him, so I thought that was what, they're adopting that, that's what they put on the back of their apparently.
Trial board group, the trial board group.
I think they have a meeting tonight, don't they? And I asked him, I said, is this going to mess something up? And he said, absolutely not. That it had not. Now, if you signed that agreement, he said it's so broad in there that there's, he said you just might run into problems later. He did, and I asked him about that. I said, is that binding? And he said no. He said it hasn't gotten that far yet. I asked him about that top part. The coaching is what I asked him about, and I sent him all of the agreement so that he did.
Just to get this straight, he doesn't like the coaching idea, recommends against it, and then he recommend against everything else?
No.
Or he's fine with everything else but that?
He pretty much, I sent it to him and he was looking at it. He said, that was what he said. He said school board members should not be season coaches. That's the only thing, and then he looked at that agreement that Ryan had on the back of it. And that's when he said it's awful broad. He says, I can see a lot of problems in the future because of how broad it was. And he kind of said he just, like some of those agreements, he said that you're really getting yourself in a pinch. He says it's a good idea, and, he says the concept's there, but it's not. So, I'm just stating what he said, and it was not the co-op, and I'm not against the co-op. That was, I just showed that to him, and he said that is, and then he said, I sent him these different policy changes, and he said I would not do that at this time. He said you shouldn't be delving into people.
What is this timing, later?
But he's saying that he says you paid, basically the way he said it was you paid these people to do this, you've got them there to do it. He said to change those policies is not a good idea.
But that policy was changed when Mr. Watt was here, am I correct?
We need to change it. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. But if you, and I'm for the co-op. But if you ever been through some of those meetings when the board was involved in picking coaches, you think this is complicated. You sit in some of those meetings, and it got pretty, and there was things that probably was said. It's personnel that shouldn't have been said. Nowadays, you start seeing big trouble over it. And everybody's got their different ideas. And
When-
Just
when-
because we were new at it, but I thought it went really smoothly.
I was really impressed.
Well, and I understand that. I mean, and the idea of collaborating to, you know, give ideas to the superintendent and the AD on coaches, that, I don't see a problem with that, but it's the wording that says you're choosing them, basically you're hiring them. That is not a board's
So
job.
we need to change that word from choosing to recommending.
Right. And that's about all it, you know, and then you would change your policies. If you want him to, you know, like I said, I just called him after I received this thing and said, I need some clarification.
You know, when I was started up the first co-op, everything went really smooth until things started going the wrong way. They started thinking that the wrong coach is in the wrong place. That's when you find out what's really gonna happen. Not now. There's nothing going on now.
I mean, I told him, I said, I'm plumb happy with the rest of it. They did a really awesome job on that and they worked really, you know, but when he said that, he said, I would advise against that, period. They should not be doing that. And he said they can advise all they want on this and, you know, bring coaches into it, but it's the choosing part that he has a problem. Just basically you're hiring, and then that's when he said you should only have 2 on there. Just, you know, and he said 3's okay, but 2 at least keeps a quorum back in here.
I think superintendent prior to this, prior to Mr. Wall, we was able to vote on them. And a time or two, we got probably too in depth on it, and that's when we had the problems. And it got, I think it was under Mr. Hutchinson, he said, I will do the final. You can vote on it, but he said, bring your recommendations to me prior to when we're voting on it. One-on-one, and I will take it in advisement that we come pretty close to not having the superintendent a couple times over the disagreement.
And
Because
basically,
we was not involved, nor should we be involved in evaluating those coaches. And that's when, you know, we didn't see the things that he knew that he had to keep his mouth shut because we were not supposed to know.
Our AD should be called in evaluating you.
I'm not sure how that one goes.
My job description says that would be.
The superintendent doesn't
But she's on one of his on also.
and I think bringing back the coaches or, you know, and having them, I mean, to the committee, he didn't have a problem with that, you know, advisory type thing. And that is where I've heard a lot of them say that that's what they do. They don't bring all of the coaches back to the board as whole, you know, they just bring it back and say, that, you know, but they bring it to the committee itself.
I think the committee needs to be, and it's a hard job to do, is keep on top of it. You gotta keep, because we did, I think things kind of just slid away from us that fall, and the committee, and we got to the point where we wasn't having meetings, and wondered why.
That's what we're trying to get away from. A focus group that monthly or bi-monthly basis that press before it gets in the push.
Yeah, that's great. The only thing I've got is the recommendation. That's plumb fine with me. And I think the superintendent would, I think they'd be happy with the recommendation. But then you should have one, if you've really got a disagreement, you should have a one-on-one with that superintendent so that he can
sway him.
you can swing or he can sway you why things aren't happening. But other than that, you guys do a good job, a great job on it. And I
And
think,
that, the only thing that he said in there, he would definitely put in something about an amount so that it can't get over.
I think the only money we are spending, well, we gotta pay for the uniforms, but the only thing else we're paying for is half of the coaching.
Right, but he, you know, we were just going off of this policy, and I know it was broad, I'm not, you know, but that's what we were given. And it said that the, committee would be allowed to purchase, well, it wasn't land, it was purchase, well, it was property. On the back here, it said, the committee may approve expenditures, sign contracts for property and services, and take other necessary action in support of the cooperative activity. I mean, the property itself, I mean, he just said something, he didn't give me an amount or anything, he just said that he would, you know, coaches to carry out cooperative uniform and equipment purchases, eligibility requirements, but that it was they could, and he said, you'll get yourself into a fine deal. Money, monetary.
Anytime you start changing policies,
My opinion,
well, which one did we change last meeting? But some of the policies, you don't have a choice. That's stated there.
then why did I vote on it?
Uh,
Then why did I vote on it?
You have to vote on it, you need to understand it.
Gotta be updated.
Yeah, the update. Well, sometimes you wonder why you vote on it. It's mandated to us.
I thought I voted on it because it's an action in front of the board and by board approval.
It is, but it's mandated that that's the way it has. Yeah. But when you start changing a bunch of policies, you get in a lot of trouble, right there.
Oh, like all of them,
Well, we had to go through all of
like
it.
all of them that I've passed in the last couple of years of being on the board.
Those are mandated.
All of them, everything.
Most of those are between NDE and the Department Bill and legislation.
All of them are even on our website. And actually,
That's not enough time to get them all on. Mr. Waddle had most of them on. And since we've been trying to, I've got, the ones that were left, I think it's 800, maybe 8,000, so I don't have put on that. Haven't had time to put them
I don't know, I've got twice as a board member, I was current, I was doing all the board policies.
Is there any more discussion on sport co-op? We have a legislative update.
Okay, I try to keep you fairly informed on a weekly basis. Do you get an update from Delaney from NERCSA and NASB? You get those on a every other day,
We get
Twice
Matt
a
Delta
week.
or something.
right? Delta,
I
not
don't think I
Delta.
get one.
Okay. I can send you what I get, which is just what you guys should be getting because you are all members. And hopefully that's self-explanatory. If you need something to watch it during the day, if you're on a certain time watch or having or whatever, C-SPAN covers the legislature on a daily basis. I don't have a TV in my room, so I don't catch that, but I have an old retired school teacher kind of keeps it up on what may happen on a weekly basis. She talks to me on a week. What I get, and if I feel this district needs to have a voice with any one of those senators or multi-senators, I sent an email. I've called off various offices, brewers and bronies especially on a couple of issues that I feel would most closely affect it. And like I said earlier this evening, if you have something that you feel needs our district's attention, with any one of the many legislators we have down there, feel free to get a hold of me and I will personally address that with you as part of that response.
Hot Buds, administrative review.
Okay, we got that finished up and it's there as Chris has kept me informed in the letter that I received, and I believe you have a copy of it there. We're in good graces for the time being. And we had to make some corrections with here, there, and wherever, and that's been done. We're in compliance.
Discuss and take appropriate action on fertilizing and new control bids.
There, you have two bids there in front of you. One is the gentleman and his firm that took care of this a year ago. We had a very moist summer for the most part. Made pretty good use of the fertilization that we applied. A gentleman was, for the times he did it, he put 4 applications on last year. It was $2,000 less than the company was the year before. That company only put 3 applications on, and we still had some weed issues. Now, some people that have, he's the older gentleman that likes to dig up Mexico sand.
Oh, Bill.
Bill.
The first year I was here, he was out there, spent several afternoons along the edge. This year I saw him out there, so I went running out there and I said, thank you, sir, for wanting to take time to do this. And he says, well, I don't have much to do this year. In other words, we have a nice kill on those particular weeds around the outside edge, and that's where the devils like to get started. Louis, when I visited with him, seemed to be very comfortable with what Mr. Sharon had done. Jess Halstead got a hold of me, told me that he bought out a company, and he would sure like to get our business. His bid shows 3 applications for less money than what Sharon is willing to do it for. He wanted to do 4. He would do 3, I guess, if that's what we thought we could get by with. And I said, you're a little bit high. He said, how high? I said, well, let's cut a corner. And after he sent me that first proposal, said we could take $200 off of the application. We're down to $1,800 now. And now I said, if we do some work on this front yard, we're thinking about dropping the elevation of this. Over the years, it's filled up and doesn't look as good as it doggone sure could. But we may want to miss an application or something. Mr. Halstead, being new to the business, and as busy a man as I think he is, and I know he is, I don't think he's going to be doing the applying probably on it from people. Mr. Sherman, he does all this fertilization. So, my recommendation is we stick with what we've had in the past. I know there is a bit of a price difference, but when you look at what it would be if, Mr. Halsted did it 4 times, it would be complete.
Does Homestead here have, I don't see the house on here. I
Well,
don't see it mapped out, and am I not seeing that, or?
He was mentioned that, I don't think he probably measured that or decided.
So is that included in that or not?
I suppose he would, if you wanna go that direction, but, whether to change the price or not, I don't know, but there is some more square footage there.
How important is aerating the ball field and playground?
I asked that question to Louis, and Louis is here, Louis, how important is it aerating it?
Do I now?
How important is aerating our football field?
Oh, we would need to do that, I think, yeah. It's been a while.
Do you do that, or?
What I do is, I called, North Platte School, and he's allowed me to, just use it. We don't have to rent it, he lets me use it for free. Scott usually hauls it home because he's got a heavy flatbed, put it on, tilt trailer. And then whenever we need it, I just call over there and ask them if we can use it. And so far, I think they still have it. But yeah, they've been good to let us use it for free whenever we need to. Then there's another fellow that Scott knows that, has a seeder. And might have been 3 years ago, I seeded the whole place with it. When it cost the football field alone, reseeded that. So it drills it in.
Mr. Sharon picked up some business here locally last year as well. I've visited with some of those people. All of them seem to be quite satisfied. The apparatus that he puts his fertilizer on is both liquid and dry, depending on the application which he uses and or a combination. Also mixes the herbicide with it and or the insecticide with it when he puts it on. It's basically GPS what he uses, so we do not have skips. And so I don't know whether Mr. Halsted has yet application. I know the first year I was here, the gentleman was hired prior to my coming on board. He did everything with the liquid and probably like 31 people on.
Is that what this one is? Is Halsted that way, or is it like?
Then I don't know for sure. He does a Kalon product. If he's going to use a Kalon product that works, my knowledge, all I do is one and everything. First application, depending on the weather, of course, would probably be late April, early May. If you need more questions answered, I would probably be the one I'd be happy if we put it off and on. they respond.
You get into trouble with the sheriff as far as school activities.
There
That
was
was a problem
only-
we had in the past.
Only one time that I think was the last application. I didn't know that we were doing a practice little league football practice on a Sunday, because that's when he likes to hit. And he had to do some shifting around the kids in one place that wasn't done yet, and then when they finished up, you know, fine. So we're not trying not to let that happen again, just as long as we make sure that the contact me or anyone else who I knew when it was coming. 12 hours with anything that he applies. He said, case scenarios, which is, I do think I'll make him put signage up whenever he puts some sort of herbicide on there. In the future, that most people will know if they really need to walk their dog or want to go to the park or whatever. Wait till the afternoon after we apply that. That's probably in our best interest if that happens.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to have Sean Lawn Care and Sprinkler Repair, provide the fertilizer and weed control for all the lawns.
Good.
Any more discussion? Rex,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Kim, yes, Frank. Yes. Discuss. Discuss and take appropriate action on custodial contract with Spiffy Cleaners.
Okay, we met with Louis several times and went over the transportation portion of it, which most of you have the updated version of the transportation. Where he went ahead and explained the additional things that he does as far as vehicle checks and everything. And we were always kind of wondering how we had so much charge, but when he explained to him it was an hour and a half per day that he's out there examining the vehicles and making sure they're good to go. That was a lot of the things that we didn't have figured in. So he went ahead, had Polly, she updated his transportation contract list. So you have a copy of that. And then also Kim and I met with him on the custodial part of it and the lawn care. And Louis spoke out that he did not and was not interested in the snow removal anymore. So he subtracted a portion of his expenses off, and then he would extract an extra $1,000 if he did not have the lawn to take care of with watering and mowing. So with that, we came up with the contract of $147,727.20. That would be without the lawn care.
No, that's just the one.
Is it with the lawn care? Yeah.
Didn't you get it off that one? Taking the lawn care off? Okay, that's still on there, both of them.
Right.
She didn't remove it,
Right, exactly.
she should have.
Yeah, we have two in front of us, Kim and I do anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, with the lawn care off, it's 147,000. With taking care of the lawn care, it's 148,727, just $1,000 difference. addition you want to add, Kim?
I was. We discussed a couple things with him that we'd like to change, but
One of the things that our first meeting, maybe kind of caught on to, is we talked about getting rid of this. He indicated roughly. Operator. So,
So is this the amount, then, is this the correct amount, this 147,727, with that off? Yeah, I don't know, that's why.
I think actually that the way Rick spoke, that should be 148,000. Is that correct, Rick?
Yeah. Or, that's with the snow removal off, and you would take care of the lawn. Is that right, Louis?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's
The one
watering
forty-eight
and
and
mowing.
147.
Yeah.
The snow removal off of both of them.
Right.
Yeah,
But that's watering and mowing and everything on that.
on the other one is the watering and the mowing. Yeah. I mean, you keep it on the 148, or you take it off on the 147.
Yeah.
The watering and
So
the mowing.
$1,000 for mowing, watering, weed whacking. That would be off.
It is this amount. Right, 148. Is that amount?
Some of us thought that the 3,000 should have come off before the increase, because it's a new contract.
Basically, off the top of my head, I'm gonna with the increase added to the $2,000, the difference I'm saying about this
About $70 a month as a service. We did discuss that, what's my opinion is with the mowing, that should include, like if the mowing was late and it had to be swept. I thought that should have been included with the mowing, but he doesn't think so. I still think it should be.
It's an hourly rate. Yep. They take care of the lawn. Yeah, for $1,000, we can hire anybody else to do that.
That's a copy of last year's, if you need to look at last year.
So,
If you look at, if I could speak on when you look at how many times I sweep the football field in the first place, probably two. Probably costs you $600 a year. You know, I mean, and I'm using my truck. I use my truck, I use my sweep, I use my trailer, and I haul it to the dump or over to Steve Price. And that's what that money was for. You know, so, to me, it doesn't look like a real big deal. That's why I don't think it needs to be added in there. But $600 is $600, I guess. And I look at it like, I'd like to keep it in my budget too. Because of the operating expenses that I have anyway. You know, I feel that hopefully you feel that I've given you a good deal, I guess, you know, I wouldn't be here. I can,
But the suite does belong to the school.
the suite belongs to the school, yes. Mine got ruined, and I used that for I don't know how many years here. But I went and had the school buy one, because mine got all tore out. You know, just wore out, all the years I've been doing it.
Oh, that was 13. Oh,
Yeah.
14.
Because we had it.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it changed.
We did change it so that it was from June first, May 31st, so that was only, so that they.
Before and then it's going to launch.
We want it to go to the end of the year,
What's that?
your contract, that's why we made the changes for the dates on your
Right,
contract.
you
So
changed the date
to the end of the year.
last time. That was mainly because we'd added 2 months in the first place on the contract to finish it out. You know, because it was gonna end up in March instead of May. Okay, that's,
Yeah.
so that's where we just went ahead and did that and moved it up so we could get it.
She's really
You
coming
know,
down.
June or whatever.
What did you guys take off of there?
We're working hard for it.
Any more discussion? Yeah, look.
I'll make a motion that we go with his contract that reads he will do the lawn for the $148,727.16. Well, there is a difference between these two. Wait a minute, one says 16, one says 20. I got two contracts together.
One's the.
Which one is it, 16 or 20?
148.
You
148.
said 20 cents.
Yeah, but it's
15 cents
20 or
20 cents on it.
16.
Well, I don't know how that, it came out.
Will you give us a good deal if we have the 16?
Per month, I guess.
We have the 16 cents instead of the 20?
I don't care.
All right, okay, 16.
Two seconds. For discussion. Rex,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Tim. No. Frank,
Yeah.
Rich.
Yes.
Yes. Discuss and take appropriate action on bids for doors.
Okay, I talked to Mr. Ryan concerning where he was with, the architectural bid proposals he was putting together. He said he was gonna need probably to the end of this month to get it complete. And he said by then, he said by the next meeting, you should be able to put anything out that we need to for bids. He needed to visit with a structural engineer concerning the doorways, to make sure that they were in compliance with what he had been working with. So I could send you that email. I thought maybe I'd already sent it out, maybe I hadn't, but concerning, he got to me last week. Matter of fact, I think that to me Thursday. But that's where we sit with that, so. this point in time, we need to do it. If this is what we should have.
On any of them?
Talk about that again. But-
He was hoping to have it done, this week.
By then,
He was hoping to have it done by this meeting.
I just wondered.
But he said he should have it done by the end of the month.
So,
The 3, 4, and 5. Can't act on what we don't know.
discuss and take appropriate action on board policy 4210, personnel, non-certified employees, hiring and dismissal.
Do we need to vote?
We need to table
Table
that.
that.
Well, he just said we can't vote on what we don't have, so I guess I didn't.
Do we have to vote, table vote?
Yeah, table.
Okay, so I guess
So
we'll vote on it.
we'll just discuss, what's that?
Just discussing on that.
Well, whether an action item, we usually have to table.
We'll let you give it a, for the next,
So, yeah.
okay, sorry,
Just-
Formality.
yeah, I need a motion to table.
I'll make a motion to table items 3, 4, and 5 until the next meeting.
I already made a motion.
Okay. Okay.
Are you gonna second it, Kim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rex,
Yes.
Kim.
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Frank.
Yes.
Rich.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Discuss and take appropriate action on board policy 4210, personnel, non-certified employees, hiring and dismissal.
You have a copy of that from you? What shaded is what you, would implement if you adopted that.
That was an idea. All the stuff that compiled.
Now, this would coincide with the
Go.
try-ons, right?
I remember it.
Their policy previously stated that their superintendent brought the recommendations to the board and the board voted on them. They were changing their policies to say that the policies, which they have done. So that we would have nothing.
I guess in part of it though too, when I was reading through there, I mean, it's put in there for, except, which will be handled by the co-op committee, which the superintendent was on that co-op committee also. So it was kind of a, right, but, I mean, at this time, after talking to them at this point in time, I guess I don't feel like we should.
I'll make a motion that we vote on board policy 4210.
Previous motion was what?
So, approving the board policy.
To approve the changes.
The positive, yeah, a positive motion. Well, you can have the active second.
I asked us to vote to
Approve
approve the
changes.
change.
They have to have a positive motion.
Do I have a second?
One second.
Any more discussion?
Just so I'm clear, yes, this
Needs change.
change to what it says right here.
Steve,
No,
Rich,
Yes.
Rex,
no.
Tim? Yes. Frank?
Yeah.
No. Discuss and take appropriate action on board policy 4230, personnel non-certified employee assignment and transfer.
Make the motion to change policy 4230.
Do I have a second?
I was second that.
Tim? Yes. Rich?
We didn't ask for this.
Oh, sorry. Any discussion?
I don't think we're gonna have to happen now. And I'm not saying one way or another, like, I don't want it to happen different. Now you got crime, cops, their policies. Drugs and people with them. We don't need something. They're all there, but.
Say about it. Is there any way you can get a hold of them and let them know that it's not flying?
They've already voted.
I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
What's that?
They are, or we are.
I don't know how to- What happened executive committee?
It's complicated.
I asked him about it, and, you know, I said, what happened with this, you know, and he said it can be fixed. He doesn't,
Now,
he
how
said,
can it be?
They would have to reverse their policies if that's what they want.
And what if they don't want?
Looking back on it, maybe we should have had that special meeting.
well, and I
That's
didn't
fine.
intentionally do that to,
And I'm not, no, I'm not saying that,
I mean,
however it
I
was,
didn't.
so it looks like we probably should have, so we didn't have this, so what we're having, you know, it's gonna be an unfortunate event. But,
But I honestly think it can be fixed. I mean, there's always a way to fix it.
We've already approved going with the co-op, working together. Just, we have a hiccup here in the middle, but, you know, what they think is one way and what we're thinking is another, and we'll come together again.
Because this stuff is all drafted by their.
I don't know, I'm not looking person. But
About any of them will tell you, you know.
but I don't think that, the policy itself really, that they had, I mean,
They was adding that to their, apparently.
right, did it,
I don't know what they're thinking, Adam. You guys are putting a vote on a doodle that I put in the little highlighted thing.
So it'd probably be better if we, instead of voting on these, they table it. It'd look a lot better.
That would be my suggestion.
A little late, Howard. You should have told us last.
I was having
Okay,
a-
I rescind my motion.
when the cover put together, not to show it in front of you, it's put possible.
I understand that. We're not out to upset the apple cart in any way, shape, or form.
Either we're us three, that's why we're
Exactly.
meeting with.
Back up from now on, then the voted for.
It wasn't on candid camera.
Can you motion to reopen it? Or do you have to go in and do all the rest?
I cannot either.
Robert's rules.
But I, you know, in all honesty, it doesn't matter, because you could do whatever you want, you know, technically, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. I mean, I know things can be changed, that's just, this one, I mean,
I'm just trying to say something very, like I said, I never intended the little highlighted.
And well, I thought that's why you gave this to us, was to have
I
it.
thought it was to be voted.
Did you tell them on the item?
No, this is what,
That's
Tony
what,
presented the third lawyer copy.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought that's
So,
what we
that's
voted.
all you needed. Like I said, you-
I will make a motion to table items 7 and 8.
One second.
any more discussion? Kim?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Frank?
Yeah.
Yes. Reports?
Okay. I put a few paragraphs down there. If I need to read through those, they'll be all touched on. I would like to add that the gala really did go over well. Lots of pats on the back need to be handed out, and thank yous and so on and so forth. But kind of headline that blanket thank you I want to give to the community. Lacey and Mrs. Amos really did do a lot to make this very successful. Appreciate their hard work. But all of it would have been in vain if we weren't able to get people to come in and have a meal with us and enjoy the evening, and those that felt comfortable either bidding and buying the silent auction items and the auctioned off items, it would not have been a success. And as one elderly gentleman grabbed a hold of my arm and said, Howard, he said, one thing wrong with this evening. And I said, well, he said, we need to have one or two more of them. And so I said, I'll take that under advisement, but I think personally, the evening went over really, really well. Anybody that attended seemed to enjoy it. So, food was great. We served it fairly fast, much faster than we did a year ago. We learned sometimes trial and error. But we were- the young people that from our school here that helped out, I couldn't have been more pleased with how they took care of what they needed to take care of. Just hustle. Anyway, good deal. Raised some nice money. I'd also like to mention I will be in attendance tomorrow evening at the Economic Development Startup Potential Corporation. From what I know about a couple others that I've been somewhat involved in, it's worked well for those communities. Who knows what it can do for this one if they have cooperation necessary. I'm working on a couple of different grants. One of them would be for another bus, possibly. If we do end up with that one, we would look at maybe replacing the one that runs flat from here. Putting a few miles on it, been good to us. And well taken care of. Basically, people that drive it. We have a revision grant that if we do our part with that grant application, we could be able to get as much as $50,000 to add to our budget to help take care of some expenses for these career pathway opportunities we want to bring into our school district. Some of the programs, a couple other smaller ones out there that if I could find the time and get a little help wording those, possibly being the driver's seat.
That helps do that, right?
I have thought that. I'm not knowing that I'm not the only one that could put the power of the yes in a prayer.
Because you're good at it.
But, yeah, and as all of you are probably realizing, especially with what's happened this last week, anytime we can get a little assistance to add to what our budget will have to be in progress, the better off. The speech, I couldn't be more pleased with how our speech participants did this past weekend. We didn't know for sure if they were even going to have district speech because of the timeline that had to be met, but there was enough different districts affected across the state that they decided to roll it into Saturday competition. All of our young people were able to make it to that, and everybody medaled, as I think we're going to even make mention of, and Tara made mention of that. Even though our speech coach is not a very big lady, I thought we were going to have to widen the doors if she walked through. So, but she's a very humble person. She took all of that.
And practicing tonight.
Yeah. Friday afternoon when I came back to do some paperwork, I heard this chatter in the Bronco room. I said, "What is going on?" Well, they were practicing. She was able to get most of them to come in because we weren't granted the meet on on Saturday, and I was asked to sit in on a couple of presentations, and it's great to see the desire that those young people had try to protect what they were going to do and present. And it couldn't be more pleased. I will try to take that in next Friday. I will be at the conference in Kearney on day to do it for state speeches this Friday, and so I'll take in the brunt and maybe the one speaker, but I'll make sure that I try to attend this one. Any questions of me? If you want me to voice my opinion on some of the bills that are coming close to probably being presented to the governor, I can still do that. And if any of you have questions concerning any of those and how they may affect this district, get a hold of me. If I don't have a quick answer for you, I will get it. But there are a few out there that may not do us the good that I would like to see them personally. Or maybe it's your family. But even though we have a lot of roads in our school district, not in very good repair yet, spent time with the sheriff this morning. I said, will my buses be able to get around on the regular routes? He said, "Howard, it's not looking good." We made the decision for tomorrow to contact the people on our various routes to see if we couldn't come up with a time frame where they could meet the bus out to the highways and they possibly some wear and tear on our buses, possibly even have to send somebody out to put them out. There's some real soft spots in some of these roads that the sheriff pointed out. Some of them are still impassable, and so outside of maybe one family, we have no objection to how we want to handle this. If I remember correctly, bus service, so, of passage. We do provide service, but I also got to look out for this equipment prices. And most families have some sort of a vehicle if they live out in the country that's going to be able to maybe get to a pasture or find an easier route and keep the black out of them on some of the roads and the condition and all that. This may go on for more than one day. Okay? Now, if you're catching some flack from the patrons, you as board members, put them here. Okay? I'll visit with any of those people and try to explain to them. One bus, possibly, well, wouldn't have to happen if you don't get that grant, but get one of them hung up and have to stretch that frame a little bit to get it out. You got issues. Any comments on that? Mrs. Walker is going to address what we may expect out of our teachers toward the end of the school year. We've now had how many snow days? Very good. Frank did call me Thursday afternoon. He's been out with Mr. Cook and surveyed the roads, and they said, Howard, he said, it's somebody could do it for the school tomorrow, which would have been Friday. Got a hold of Steve, because I knew he had a real issue out there at the onset, and it didn't get healed up, late Thursday, I don't believe, did it, Steve? And, we agreed with, the possibility of just not having school on Friday.
I did have a patient ask if we were gonna have school on Tuesday, so next day.
That is a possibility. It's also a possibility to use that for PLC day, one like day.
Okay. We got one of them.
But, I had, both our principal and our business manager look at the time. Our day is longer than most school days. That is a help. And so right now, we finish out the day with any other misses. It's going pretty good. But the teachers are under contract for X number of days. We can add those to the end. There's a few things done that would normally have to happen sometimes. ESU wants to put on some workshops that would benefit our people. And by the way, every one of our teachers has indicated they are willing to come back. So, I think it's been some time since we've had those things. Am I cutting in on what you have to say?
Not over yet.
Yeah, they could change their mind up to June 1st if they find a better deal, but, you know, as far as letters of intent, I have it. Okay, it's your turn.
Started with a happy picture from the kindergartner. There will actually probably be 13. Okay. And I think there will be 13 altogether. We have some new students coming. We know for sure that there will be a 4th grader, a 6th grader, and 8th grader, and we decided sophomore today. So immediately, but for next year, we'll have those 3 new ones. Misfits, we're gonna start testing Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm setting that back because we need to celebrate, get ourselves cheered up and ready to roll. Plus, they need to do a practice test. I'm kind of working on keeping kids in school right now. We were supposed to go to a house, and we've been out how many days in a row, and we have gone in 2 days, and they just need to be in school. For a continuous week would be lovely, especially since we're into testing. While we're talking about that, I was just going to ask you what your feelings were right now. This is last day, it's supposed to be Thursday. I'm not going to check with anybody out on Thursday. We'll have that be a work day. I just want to know ahead of time because there's things that we could work on like Canvas. We want to work on some curriculum. We need to show scope and sequence. We need to do that for advanced ed. We could be working on that. But I would probably bring, we could be working on already for advanced ed. I would bring some people in some service units. With this, because we could do multiple things at one time then. Some could be working on one thing, something else. So what are your feelings? Do you want us to put in 6 days in a row? Do you want us to do half and then go to service unit? Just what are your feelings? The service unit's going to do something on curriculum alignment, and we can work on curriculum there. That would be 2 days. The other one is we're going to have a workshop on resources, and you know how much textbooks cost. And we're starting to have a commission that looks at the textbooks, which ones most fit the standards. Some of those are cheaper than what we've been buying, and some are cheaper. So we could look into some of those resources. So that'd be 4 days of the service. We could possibly even pick up a stipend during the summer. So it would just be a matter of them doing the time and doing that.
And we can,
We could say they could just stay and
I mean, if they could say, I'm gonna do these two, or it's a good one, if you want them to do this, it's this. Or no, it's that.
6 is a little extreme, but half of what they might miss. That's my.
Put in another 3 days for teachers.
You know, we're not through this spring yet.
Mhm.
Dr. Bloomstead, top man, Department of Ed, came out with a statement today that you all should have got in an email as well. It's research the situation our state is involved in, especially the eastern part of our state. And State Department will do what they gotta do to help out those that are gonna have to suck it up on some of these things. You know, the state hasn't had one of these situations. You've got some communities that maybe a week or two. One community doesn't have a school. I mean, the back there. So anyway, but we are our own entity here. We can make decisions for ourselves. But to be as well prepared for next fall as we could be, Mrs. Walker and I have discussed how we can do that.
We've actually lost 3 days. So it's tight, frankly. That kind of with the rest of you think that should be for you, right? You don't have to vote on it, but it's let you know what your thoughts are.
What do they think, like? I'm all right, I'm all right.
Well, if we can put it there for another month down the road, we'll have a better idea what's going to happen.
So I better start planning.
But I'd like to give the teachers a bit of a clue that hey, it's
But we talked a lot about testing today at the PLC. This is the person that will come see us. I'm gonna call in and quiz them and see how well he really knows small schools. When I read the bio, I just wanted to see if he can really talk about small schools. So,
and there is a difference, and I'm not about to bring somebody in here that's always comparing us to a
like Washington or Napa County. And this is what I had you check and share with them, superintendent. So I put that in, that was shared with it. We had Sam come in, kids really enjoyed it. That was from Sylvan, and that was free. But it was a day where each we had they got to try some actual engineering activities, and we did that through 8, I think, 59, and we enjoyed it. And we're got a group of us, Mrs. Neal, Mrs. Schaefer, Mr. Venus, and myself. We're going to Better Data, Better Decisions, and they're going to be talking about A-Plus, and A-Plus was what I was talking about when we were creating this. And they're talking about changes, and I don't know what the changes are going to be coming down the pipe. A lot about data, etc. And advisor. So we'll be attending that. And I have a few of them. So any questions or?
You did get that PLC thing set up for August?
Yes, I'm gonna check, I'm not sure. That he can speak about the one that we're gonna have here in August for us. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to him. And I'll do that, tomorrow. And we start checking tomorrow. We need an executive session.
I really don't have anything required at this point.
Our next meeting will be April 15th, 2019 at 8 PM at the school library.
There's some dessert over there. I presume all of you may have given that up to Lance, but whatever.
We go and visit the April 7th.
It's that changed sometime, but I didn't know when. Next time.
It's next month.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, how about we talk to them about
I don't know.
daylight savings time?
After our thing, there's
Never hurts to.
No, I'm saying that daylight savings.
You're like this, you work till
Can't beat, that's one thing nice about it.
so much better. Either that
I don't think
Here's some different people.
Thank you for coming, Louis.
Thank you. What's that? Okay.
Thanks, you got it out.
Yeah.
Did you, anybody else need to go to this conference, that's in school law for board members workshop? It's Wednesday, April 17th in North Platte. Registration deadline is April 7th.
Well, because
I don't believe it has a timeline on there, is it?
April.
Yeah, but evening, usually an
It was in
evening.
the evening, I think.
Yeah.
They'll provide a meal. I'm sure that's part of that. Okay, I've got Rich and Rex wants to go. Steve, think you can make that?
At 5:15 to 9 PM.
We're out.
They'll allow for nap time in between, so us older guys can take a nap.
I don't think the people.
Yeah.
I would think that
That does.
5:15.
There's a lunch.
I didn't look on the side.
Before we officially register, closer to that deadline, I'll get a hold of all of them.